Hey YouTube, this is Adventure Vin. I'm on location at the U-Drop Inn, also known as the Conoco Tower, made famous in the Cars movie. This would have been Luigi's tire shop. So guess who's with me? You guys recognize her?
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm from New Jersey.
You're from New Jersey?
Yeah.
How much of Route 66 are you doing?
I am doing the whole way.
Whole way?
Whole way.
And you're with the big tour group, right?
No, I am by myself.
So you guys thought I was crazy? I'm this gawky dude on a motorcycle by herself. So here's the brave Americans right now doing Route 66 by themselves.
Yes.
So what impressed upon you to actually get on Route 66?
I saw old pictures of my grandmother and grandfather in New Mexico. And then after the Cars movie, I don't know, I just really wanted to do it.
Where do you remember any iconic? Okay, New Mexico. So I'm thinking of like Tucumcari, the Curio TP shop, Two Guns.
Albuquerque is where the pictures were. So yeah, I
okay.
just wanted to relive.
So if you guys follow Route 66 through Albuquerque, that's actually where one of the routes where you can actually route north and go to Santa Fe, or you can keep going across. They call it the Revenge Route, actually. I don't know if you knew this or not, but originally Route 66 ran through the capital of Albuquerque, but the governor of the state of New Mexico wasn't reelected. Mm-hmm. So they called it the Revenge Route, whether it was folklore or not, but then he rerouted Route 66 to go straight from like Santa Rosa area, mm-hmm. straight through Albuquerque and bypass Santa Fe. So the iconic things in Albuquerque would be like the Los Lonos Loop and some other things. So what has been your most memorable thing at this point?
Meeting Dean Walker in Kansas, the guy who inspired Mater in Cars.
Well, how about that? So she gets to live rural life Route 66 while also experiencing some of what brings people out, which Disney really did do a good job on bringing life back into Route 66, if you agree to that.
They did. I do agree. I feel like a lot of people are on it because of, Cars. Cars made people want to experience the Mother Road again.
And as silly as that may sound, what Jessica just said is the often answer I have gotten asking that question. What was it? And even the proprietors of the shops and the volunteers of the museums, they pretty much say either Americana, the road trip, but I would say at least 2/3 responses because the movie Cars, to come out here and see if this stuff exists. Well, hey, I thank you for spending some time with me today, Jessica. Remember to like, subscribe, don't forget to get out there. I always say ride if you got a motorcycle, but live your passion. Jessica's living her passion. See, here it is in the real world. I'm going to walk around the U-Drop Inn for a little bit more footage. Jessica, you have a very safe trip.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for spending time with me, and we'll take care. All right. Say goodbye to Jessica, everybody. All right, so I'm going to move around. Supposedly, one of these booths actually was right behind me. Did you know that Elvis sat here? No. Yeah, so this booth right here, apparently Elvis Presley sat in this booth and ate. What a lot of people like to do is jump in that booth and swipe their butt all the way around so they could say they sat where Elvis did. But the U-Drop Inn was a combination gas station, cafe, maybe even a service station. And I would like to ask one of the curators because a lot of these structures actually ended up in disrepair and boarded up, and this very well could have been one of those. So I want to ask one of the curators if the movie Cars actually brought this back to life. I'm standing on the inside right now, and I get some shots of the outside, but this is the inside of the cafe area. As if it was still, I would love to see this back being functional as a cafe. That would be just awesome. But this is the cafe area. You got some original stuff here, the tiled in the bathroom. I mean, it's just beautifully redone. And we have some other booths here. I'm going to move over to the gift shop real quick, and then I'll do some shots of the outside. So I would imagine if this part of the gift shop, and I might ask this lady real quick. I'm doing an active video, but I want to ask you a quick question. I just got done with the cafe, and I'm describing this as when it was in operation. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to stand this way so I get the light on you better.
Yeah. Okay.
So can you describe what, I would imagine this was like the garage or service area. Can you explain?
Actually, it was supposed to be a saloon or a bar when it was first built, but our county went dry right after it was built, so they could never sell alcohol in here. So it was used as a bus station at one time, and it was used as a banquet room, an overflow room. It was also used in the 50s. They put the jukebox in here and let the kids hang out in here and dance and stuff. So It was
Okay.
a dance hall, I guess you could call it.
So
But,
when
yeah.
when people look at this at the map, it always says U Drop In and Conco Tower.
Yeah.
Why would it have two names?
Well, it has been owned by different people throughout the years. One different person would own that, and a different person would own that. But the very original people who came up with the idea and had it built, he ran the gas station and she ran the cafe, but I don't know why it had two names. It's just how they did it.
When I do the outside shots, you're gonna notice that the architecture flows very, very well. And you would think that it was just totally one structure all in its own right.
Yeah.
The was this building? Take care, Jessica. Have safe travels. Was this building ever forlorn, boarded up, dilapidated, used as storage?
Back in 1999, the man was going to tear it down because it had got in bad shape. The businesses both went out in the mid 1990s, the cafe and the gas station. And so the man that owned it was going to tear it down. It didn't have boards up in the windows or anything, but it had lots of water damage in the back and stuff. So our local bank bought it. They donated it to our city, and our city got a government grant, a historic government grant to restore it. So it was restored in 2003, and after that is when Disney came to town, and they were in the Disney Pixar movie Cars, and we're Ramones Body Art. Where it says Conoco out there, it says Ramones in the movie. So
You know, folks, I apologize. I made a mistake. I kept calling it Luigi's Tire Shop,
that's
but it's
okay. It's Ramones Body Art.
Ramone's
Yeah.
Body Art. So there's no, when I go outside, you guys will notice there's just no way to not recognize this structure. And you know,
Lots of people call it Luigi's. You know, that's just.
Oh, really?
When they first came in, oh, this is Luigi's. And I know it's Ramones.
were you actually here and saw the Disney people come through and look at it?
I have lived here all my life. I didn't see the Disney people, but I know that they stayed in town for about a week and talked to the locals and got stories. So some of the stories in the movie, I'm going, I know who did that, you know, but I did not see them. I saw it when it was being restored, though, you know. And then Disney came to town, and I saw their pictures in the newspapers, all I did, that said Disney's been here and they're going to put us in a movie. But now, like I said, I've lived here all my life. I saw it restored.
Okay,
You
and
know,
you're
but I
new.
did not see them. I think they came and got like pictures of the building, and they came and got the blueprints and everything, so they could, you know, copy of the blueprints, so they could reproduce it.
Now, have you ever been to Disneyland in Anaheim?
No, I haven't.
In Disneyland in Anaheim, they have Cars Land now.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And one of the structures there, I think it was Luigi's Flying Tires, and then it was
Yeah.
another structure greatly resembles the
Yeah.
outside of here, if you've
Yeah.
ever seen it.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I've seen pictures of it. Yeah. And another thing I was going to tell you, like I said, I've lived here all my life. Well, my granddad was the very first manager of the gas station
This
in
one?
1936. So yeah,
This
my
one?
granddad was, yeah. So I'm like the fourth generation of the family. So
You know, and I have, this is not the only location. I have found that type of story more often than not, where the people are embedded in these communities, and it's a living history. It's something where you can get it firsthand, and they're not doing the research. They had lived the life.
Yeah.
The other thing I've kind of noted to some of the viewers is one thing. So Route 66 went through numerous evolutions and changes.
Yeah.
One of them was post World War II. So as we enter into World War II, there were some realignments that were being done purposely for transportation and commerce for military and government purposes.
Yes.
One of those purposes was troop movement. Post World War II, some of the men that were from eastern states experienced some of the routes along the way in California.
Yeah.
And then what happened was Americans started getting into the road trip for vacations.
Yeah.
Not escaping the Dust Bowl, not Grapes of Wrath anymore, not transportation military. let's get everyone chicken in every pot. Let's get people on the road.
Yeah.
So one of the destinations, Disneyland, opens up in 1955.
Yeah.
So that's right around 10 years after World War II ends.
Yeah.
But it's also the 50s where iconic cafes come into being.
Yeah.
So one of the parallels I make is that in 1955, Route 66 really breathed life into Disneyland. It was a thoroughfare where people would say, our destination is in Anaheim, and Route 66 is how they got there. So many people that didn't live in California experienced Route 66 just to get to Disneyland. I kind of also feel that that was, I have a friend that actually did that, rode Route 66. I also feel in reciprocation, Disney with Pixar, with the movie Cars, reciprocated that and now has breathed life back into Route 66. Would you agree?
We have lots of families, we have lots of families come through during the summer, and their kids just love this, you know, but they're coming through because of the movie.
And that's,
So that's good. And they're going on the old-fashioned road trip, Put the phones away. We're going to talk and look at the scenery and stuff,
So, it was really funny, Teresa, because you just said families were saying they're coming out here because of the movie. Jessica, the young lady from New Jersey that just left, I asked her what brought her out on Route 66, and she said the same exact thing. She says, well, I saw some pictures of my grandparents in Albuquerque back in the day, but for me it was also a combination of that and Route 66, the movie, Cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and you would not believe how many people from Europe we have. Or from overseas in total, because I think that half of our visitors are from overseas somewhere, different countries.
And that's over half, and I would even challenge you to say with my experiences, I think it's over 75% with my experiences.
It may be because.
And maybe there are more Americans, but they haven't interacted with me as much. But I have met people from every stretch of the globe on this trip. I've been on the road for 2 weeks.
It's the young people, and they love Route 66. In fact, there was a girl from England. Her boyfriend proposed to her in here. And then they got married, and their wedding was Route 66 themed. And our building was the top of the wedding cake, because she sent me pictures of it and stuff. So, the young people, and we have people that come through that say they're on their honeymoon, and you're going, not the islands? That's where I might go.
And that's one thing I always want to encourage people. There's a lot to learn about Route 66 through books, through movies, through documentaries, but there's nothing like getting out here and experiencing it firsthand. It will change your life. It will. It's changed mine. I hope you agree. Well, I'm going to pause this real quick, and then I'm going to walk outside, do some footage of the outside, wrap it up, but we'll get back to you shortly. It's definitely a bright day out here. So let me do the outside real quick. I got in a conversation with a gentleman. We want to exchange some info, but I want to do the outside so you can see what it looks like. Definitely spending more time in here, but this was a must-do for me, this location. So here's the U drop in from a distance. There's there's the two conical towers, the cafe, and the gas station area. I want to say it's, the architecture is Art Deco. The tiling, I think you heard, I'm not going to repeat what Teresa said inside about, who owned it and how it operated. I got to keep looking left and right because I'm actually walking out on the street right now. But I didn't film this last night with the neon. I do have some pictures that'll be on Facebook with the neon. But if you see this, the structure, you'll definitely recognize it from, I just realized the mic was off. Me. So if you see the structure, you'll definitely recognize it in Disneyland. In the Pixar movie, it's Ramon's body shop, and in Cars Land, it's the it was Luigi's tire shop, I believe. So and there's my chariot. But I just love the architecture. The owner was actually going to tear this down. He was going to tear it down. And the community saved it. Then they got a government grant to save it. Let me go. So there's the walk around.